Despite the unique challenges of 2020, Berry College students are engaging in the political process in this year's hotly contested election. To see how Berry students planned on voting this year, we spoke to several students around campus, only one of whom said he was not planning to vote in the upcoming election. Students often cited a desire for change as their reason to participate.
This year is definitely a big swing year, Not a lot of people are into the negativity Trump brings, and thinking about, making a big change in the country.
Definitely, especially everything that's been going on, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, everything that's been happening since quarantine. A lot of things I feel like just have come out to light that I wasn't really aware of, so I feel like it's really important to vote this year.
I feel like it's pretty important to vote. Definitely, I feel like everyone should vote, regardless or not who you are voting for. And if you want to vote, because it's a major decision, and it's going to push America to either be great or not be great as a country.
Taylor Carls, student coordinator for VOTE, a civic engagement group, said colleges often struggle with low voter turnout rates among their students.
In general, one of the biggest problems for our generation is pushing the idea that your vote does matter, because in just our lifetime, I'm 20 years old, and there's been 2 presidents elected who didn't win the popular vote. So I think it's really hard sometimes to push that, like, hey, your vote really does matter.
This year, students who want to vote are caught between concerns about COVID-19 and controversy over the mail-in ballot system. Although several students expressed concerns about voting by mail, many said they're using this method because they would prefer not to vote in person due to their distance from polling locations and the threat of COVID-19.
I'm using the mail-in ballot because it would just be too much. I have to go all the way back home because it's about a 2-hour drive for me to have to go home, vote, and then come back. And I don't want to be out around a lot of strangers if I don't have to be, because I'm trying to keep everyone on campus safe.
It's an 8-hour drive to get home, so that's not really worth my time. But I knew I wanted to be involved in the political season this year, and so it just made the most sense.
Because of the controversial nature of this year's election, student leaders of the Berry College Republicans and the Young Democrats stressed the importance of setting aside political differences to support the democratic process.
So we want our college campus to be a good atmosphere for politics. And I think it's really important that people know that BCR and Young Dems are not enemies, and that Democrats and Republicans don't have to be enemies, and we can work together, and we want to work together.
Because politics are so divisive right now, we do want people to know that you can have differing opinions and still work together to get things achieved, because even if I disagree with someone, I want them to be able to vote. I want their voice to be heard.
Earlier this semester, both clubs partnered with VOTE to host a voter registration drive outside the Krannert Center. Student leaders from both these groups noted that participating in this year's election is especially important because of Georgia's status as a swing state, and that voters need to be aware of the ways they can vote safely despite the pandemic, including through mail-in voting. As the leader for the Berry College Young Democrats, Anna Van Clay said every vote counts, even though it might not seem that way.
If we don't vote, then we aren't having a say in our own future. And our political system as a whole just does not work when people don't vote.
With Viking Fusion News, I'm Grace Snell.